So today, vagus nerve, vagal nerve, however you want to describe it, is like a main highway of connection from our brain to our various organs in our body. If you want to know exactly how that nerve runs, just pop a question into Google and it will give you some amazing graphics, to see how the vagus nerve weaves through your body to connect your brain to your gut and a whole bunch of other stuff in between. Um, but today, as specially requested by Kath, we're going to do a little exercise that will help you to reset your nerve. And this is how you do it, right? So follow along with me. You sit comfy, just relax your shoulders and take your chin and notice, yeah, when you turn your head, how far does it go? How far can you see back behind you? Make a note of where that is. Now the dog's going to bark. And then you turn your head the other way. My head goes a lot further that way, right? And make a note of what's the furthest thing back that you can see. And then come back to center. That's where you're kind of taking your baseline. Now, if you're laying down, yeah, roll your head from side to side and see how it feels each way. Yeah. Because when you're laying down and you've got that, support behind your head and you roll, there's going to be a point where your face is going to get in the way. But just see how it feels to turn your head each way. If you're sitting up, I prefer to do this sitting up because it's just easier. Now, that's your baseline. Next thing you do is link your fingers together like this with the thumbs sticking up. Yeah. Turn them upside down and put them behind your head here so that your thumbs lay down the side of your neck. Yeah. And what that's going to do is it's going to hold your head still. Now, as I'm explaining this, I need to move my hands around. Yeah. So I'm not going to hold my head, physically hold my head, but I'm going to hold my head without my hands. So what I want you to do, link your fingers together and tuck that behind your head so that you've got a thumb down your neck and then you're cradling the back of your head. If you're laying on the floor, this is really easy to do because your head weight is already taken. Okay. The next step, once you've got your head nice and cradled and you're still, is to look with your eyes, yeah, without moving your head, look all the way to the right and then up. Yeah, so you're looking all the way to the right and then up. So if you're laying down, you're going to look all the way to your right and then up into your eyebrows. Look, get your eyeballs right up there and hold them up there. Now, while your eyes are all the way to the right and looking up, I'm going to talk to you about the kind of signal that your body will give you. Yeah. While you're doing this, your vagus nerve is figuring out how to reset itself. And you need to wait until your body either gives a yawn, a sigh, or a swallow, or some kind of sensation. For most people, it's a yawn. Yeah. So eyes all the way over to the right and up and hold it there until you get a yawn, sigh, or a swallow. I think I have probably now talked for enough seconds for most of you, she says, slowing down, for most of you to have had a sigh, a yawn, or a swallow. Yeah. So come back to the middle, look at me, unless you're laying down. And now look all the way to the left and up. Yeah? So you're moving your eyes all the way to the left and then up into your eyebrows. It actually feels slightly uncomfortable to do this, right? So you know that you're stretching. Yeah, it's almost like flossing a nerve. Yeah, you're stretching your eyes all the way to the left and up. It's all the way to the left and up. And hold it there until your body gives you that signal, that sigh, yawn, or swallow. I nearly always get a yawn. Now that was weird because I've done the stretch in one direction and come down and then done the stretch in the other direction. My body's saying, yeah, but you haven't held it. So there's a yawn. So Just slowing down again. So those of you who've still got your eyes to the left and up, yeah, wait for that body signal, that sigh, yawn, swallow. Now, come back to the middle and now turn your head firstly to the left. See how far it goes. For me, it's dramatically looser. And I haven't even done the stretch fully. Yeah. You turn to the left and you see how much further it is. Yeah. And then you turn to the right. Not that much further on the right for me because I didn't hold that right hand side stretch as long as I held the left hand side. But you can do this and take your time. Yeah. So I'll run through those instructions again. First of all, you do your baseline. Yeah, you turn your head to the left and to the right, see how far you can see to get your baseline. Then you cradle your head in interlaced fingers with the thumbs. Yeah, you see that? I'm not sure I'm turned right enough, but with your thumbs down the side of your neck. Yeah, like that, so that you're cradling your head and you've got your thumb down your neck to give you that stillness. Hold your head still while you look all the way to the right and then up. Wait for your body to give you a signal. First couple of times you do this, it might take like 30 seconds or a minute, even sometimes even longer for you to get that yawn. It's all the way to the right and up. And then once your body has given you a sigh or a yawn or a swallow, look all the way to your left and up. And wait for a sigh, a yawn, or a swallow, and then check your mobility. Yeah? That is a really, really, really easy, simple, but it can take a few minutes to do. Nervous reset. But there are many other ways you can do it. Right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to talk through a list. I wrote a list so I didn't forget any. The first one I'm going to suggest is when you put your thumbs together like this. Now this is called a butterfly hug. You're making the shape of a butterfly with your hands, or a bird, I suppose it could be a bird. But it's called a butterfly hug, and you tap one side and the other. And you keep doing that until your body gives you that signal, that yawn. Oh, yeah. Excuse me. It's going to be a lot of yawning going on from me because yawning is what my body does. And because I've done this kind of exercise a lot, I get that release, that reset quite quickly. So it's butterfly hug. Then there's what they call bilateral tapping. Now this can be the kind of tapping that you do when you've learned that set of signal taps. Yeah, you know the ones I mean. It's 3 letters that have gone completely out of my head, but it's tapping opposite sides of your face, your chin, your body. It gives a similar effect to your nervous system as the butterfly hug. There's also different breath patterns. As you know, I'm a trauma-informed somatic coach and also a trauma-informed breathwork facilitator. So there are parts of breathwork that will really trigger that yawn reflex. Though for some of you, it could just as easily be a sigh or a swallow reflex. It's usually around here anyway. There's what they call the 5-2-8 breath or 7 breath. Depends on how you were taught it, whether you use the counts of 5-2-8 or whether you use the 7, right? But a 7, if I draw it with my hand as you're looking at me, yeah, it's a 7 like this. So you breathe in, hold, and then a long exhale. Yeah? When I'm doing a 7 breath, I breathe in for 2, hold for 2, out for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, as long as you can make that exhale. And that's where the in for 5, so it's in 2, 3, 4, 5, hold, and then out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 5-2-8 breath, or the 7 breath. But there's more. Yeah. Cold plunging, dropping your whole body into a cold bath or container. Some of the ice plunge things are like barrels. Yeah, they're round, just slightly wider than your shoulders. And you walk into them, there's a little flight of steps, and then there's a seat in the bottom where you plunge down and you sit in cold, cold water. Never been a good one for me. However, yeah, at the end of your shower, when you've finished doing all of your washing and your ablutions, you could turn the heat down to cold just for 10, 15 seconds. Yeah? Cold shower. And you could extend that. So maybe start at 5 seconds, then do 10, 15, 20, 25, and extend that cold shower. That can also reset your nervous system. Continuing on the cold theme, mixing bowl. Yeah. Big mixing bowl. Fill it with cold water and ice. Now, you can either just plunge your hands in, that will reset, or hands and face. Yeah. So you sort of swoosh your face up as you lower your face into the water, blow a few bubbles, count to three, whatever you need to do to keep your face in the ice cold water. So that's cold. What we got next? Oh yes, slow breathing. Yeah. And this isn't just slow, this is like really, really slow. Those clocks over there, oh, you can't see them. Hang on. Those clocks over there, tick. I sometimes allow them to do the counting for me. But just make your breaths as slow as you can. Yeah. Breathing in really, really slowly, preferably through your nose, and then breathing out really, really, really slowly through your mouth. You might find that if you're using this kind of reset because maybe you're angry or you're overstimulated or you're just overwhelmed, yeah, and just that kind of feeling, yeah, you may find a hiss slows your exhale down enough, yeah. So you're breathing in through your nose, and then it's like a leaking tire. Not sure if the mic is going to pick that up, but it's that hiss, yeah, that kind of noise. But you can also sing, yeah, literally bounce around in your sitting room to loud 80s music. This is a post that I made a couple of days ago. I posted it all over my socials because there's this lovely picture of a woman dancing with, don't underestimate the healing power of dancing around your kitchen to an 80s anthem or something, it says on there. And I think that's brilliant. Humming, yeah, humming along to things. So if you've got a tune going on in the background, just hum along with it. Even gargling, yeah. We used to do this quite a lot as kids when we had, my generation, when we had a sore throat, we would have gargles, put some water in, tip your head back and go, and you make sound through the water that's in the back of your throat to make a gargling sound. Laugh. Yeah, laugh as often as you can. When I'm asked about vagal nerve polyvagal theory and vagus nerve resets, there's always a reason behind it. And quite often, and I'm probably talking 80, 90% of the time, yeah, at least 4 out of 5 are people who don't spend enough time laughing. So find a reason to laugh. Yeah. Watch your pets. Watch your neighbor's kids, in my case, or birds in a bird bath. They can be quite fun to watch, and allow yourself to laugh. But if none of this, right? If none of this works, if your vagus nerve reset with the eyes doesn't make you yawn or anything like that, if none of the suggestions I've made of butterfly hugging, breathing, cold plunges, cold showers, deep slow breathing, singing, humming, gargling, laughing, if none of this is getting you the relief that you are seeking, yeah, my next step for you would probably be to look at your diet and your vagus nerve, because it is such a connective thing, connecting all sorts of stuff in your body. Again, if you want to know exactly what it connects and where, just go Google it and it will show you. There's actually some really good like 3D animations of where the vagus nerve goes through your body and connects everything together. But in order for any of your nerves to work well, yeah, probiotics for your gut and omega-3 for the structures of your nerves in your nervous system are the two things that I would suggest that you either supplement or actively seek out foods with probiotics. You're talking about yogurts, those sort of things, omega-3, fish. Yeah, but you can get either of those as a supplement, and they will improve the physical health of your nervous system. So let's see if I can find the questions. Has anybody got any questions? I will just say, has anybody got any questions? I can't see any popping up in the Facebook thing. It's not actually telling me if anyone's typing either. So I'm just going to kind of assume that all of my usual people will catch this on the replay and will ask questions to me underneath this video, wherever you're seeing it. Yeah. Whether you're seeing it in the Facebook group or if you're seeing this on YouTube or anywhere else. Yeah. Pop your questions in the usual channel that you are used to using. I mean, for instance, someone who's watching this live at the moment, Kath, she's in my community and she has access to a WhatsApp chat with the other people in the community. She can also privately message me on WhatsApp because she is a hero who is not only a foster mum, but a foster mum who is actively looking after her own mental health. So big high five for Kath. Okay, so we've got no questions coming in. I'm going to say goodbye for now, and I'm going to walk the dog for my next session at the top of the next hour with the amazing gladiators at Gladiator Mastermind. So, yeah, that's everything. Bye for now.